the show.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page, look us up, or hit see first to see and hear all the great programs that we have here on WNHHLP. And just a reminder that Cannabis Corner is also streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook page and ProCannabisMedia.com. Welcome, everybody. It is Monday, August the 11th. Welcome to Cannabis Corner. I am your host, Joe LaChance, Joe the Weed Guy. And I am joined here by, of course, the one and only Uncle Lou, Farmer Lou. How are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal today, brother. I'm doing absolutely. You know what? It's a good energy day. So even though the world may be, stressful and everything else that's going on, but the energy that I have today is of renewing community, friendships, positivity. That's where I'm at right now. So, it's making sure we have that energy within ourselves.
That's
I
right.
also want to say,
Yeah,
Joe,
go ahead. You.
this month we are sponsored by who?
Oh, yes, thank you. We are sponsored by Metatron Homegrown with two locations at 626 East Main Street in Meriden and 185 Boston Post Road in Orange. And Metatron Homegrown is your place. They hold classes on growing, extracting, bubble hash, and cloning. They have everything you need for your homegrown needs, including seeds and, of course, every nutrient, everything you need for your growing. And Gabe wanted to let me know that he will be down at the Oyster Festival this weekend.
There you go.
In Milford. So there he is, getting out in the community. He'll be there from 3 to 8:30. So he'll be there in between both times, the family time and the adult time. So
beautiful.
Get on down there this weekend. I'm going to the Oyster Fest on this weekend. He will be there Saturday. He wanted to make sure he said that on Saturday he will be there with set up with the tent and everything, showing off everything we got. So I wanted to remind people of that. And he also will be doing a class on edibles too over there. Yeah. So, Gabe's doing great. He's a great guy. He's helped me through my grow. As a matter of fact, he was a big help this weekend. I got bud rot.
Oh, man.
I got bud rot on one of my...
Right at the beginning?
Well, they're all basically flowering now.
Yep.
So, I found one about a week ago. It just, everything else on the plant is fine, but one branch dead.
Yeah,
everything dead.
Yep.
So I clipped that off and scraped it a little, did the thing. And about a week later, lo and behold, there was another one, and that was, I think, on Saturday morning.
Oh man!
Before I went to the great event that both me and Steve were at. But so I clipped that off, and I went down to Gabe's on Sunday, gave him a call, and sent him some pictures. I was wondering if there was a treatment for it.
Yeah.
And he said there really isn't.
Nope.
He said what I did was the right thing. He said I should move it away from the rest of the plants and go with that, see what I can do. But he basically said,
if you look at the holes, look at the branches and see if there's any little holes, because it could be that there might be one worm or something like that in there.
Okay.
And it's eating each branch individually.
Oh, okay. I got you. So I may have got them out or I may not. We'll see. All right. Good idea.
Because if you see a little hole in there, the poop is what turns the bud rot. That's what creates the bud rot.
Oh, he's pooping in the hole while he's eating.
Right.
Oh, that's just good to know. So, Gabe was a big help with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he's always there for anybody, not just me.
And that's why he's a great partner, and we love him as our sponsor, and he's really, really dope dude.
Yes, he is.
So this is, we're still pushing forward. The community has really come out a lot to support.
We had me and Steve, actually, our guest today,
Yeah.
We're at an event on Saturday over at Bohemian High, with our friends, the Grove,
Beautiful.
right next door. Little small event, the Good Vibes Festival, had a couple bands, pretty good show. Um, our friends Dab and Dad were there, Steve was there, there were a few
Hmm.
other vendors. Good time, good community out there. We had a great time, and like you say, I think the vibe this whole weekend was great. We had a full moon. And I
Right.
know the
Right.
energy lasts for 3 days. So this is the third day of the full moon.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean this is good. It's been a good one. I've been feeling good. I have to go get a colonoscopy next week, but that's not so good. But that's not today. Um, so yeah, it
Right.
was nice. And I
Man,
just want
we smoked a lot of weed this weekend.
yeah, I did. I smoked a
Yeah.
lot of weed this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, I did. I smoked a lot of
Nice.
weed. I had a good time. Good time with good friends. Hanging
Yeah.
out, made a little money selling the Make America Green t-shirts.
That's right. Make
That's
America
what
green,
matters.
baby.
When we had some clones there, making it all green. That's the deal. And I found, Lou, that people, this was more, I wouldn't say it was a strictly cannabis event.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right. Right.
and we've always had the most success at those events
Yeah.
where you get a mixture of the public because you know what, some people haven't even never done it before and
Right.
you were able to talk them into it. So we're trying to help people to make America green again and to grow their own.
That's right. Grow your own, do your thing. There's always some
That's
space,
it.
so it's nice.
Yeah,
I'm all
yeah.
for that. This is another week we're pushing forward to, hold strong in the fight in the cannabis battles of life. It's Monday, so
You
it's
being in the
always
industry,
nice.
Lou, is there any inside info on what's going on in this little investigation?
I don't know about the investigation, Joe, because that's obviously way above my pay rate. But I am excited for the advisory board, for the DCP advisory board to start. Rodeo Cannabis has lowered their prices ridiculously. I just hope it translates
You know why he did
to
that, Lou?
because we've been saying it forever. And he
Because you
literally,
busted his balls right on the air.
yeah, he texted me and he said so. He was like, "Hey, you're a good inspiration. You really made the challenge. I'm meeting your challenge." And he made it really cost effective, like wholesale pricing on cannabis from Rodeo is absolutely phenomenal right now.
Oh, that's good to hear because I got to tell you, they have good product.
You
I
know,
will say they are one of the better products out there. So the fact that they have lowered their prices to make it more
they're just sun
accessible, I'm
grown,
sorry,
but they
is
are.
really good.
We throw it out there. They do use some radiation remediation. So
This is
depending on the
true.
product, they could be remediated with the machine. So, but it's on this products. They at least disclose what it is. Some things are, some things aren't.
Oh, they
I
disclose on the product if it's
Yeah, I
remediated?
believe so. I believe so. I'm not their
That's a
representative. Like I'm
right.
not their representative. I'm not their person. I don't know. I just know that I got a text. These are the new prices. We're putting them dirt cheap, and
And
that
let's
was
be
what
real,
I
Lou.
heard.
You see a lot of these products from the mainstream cultivators and stuff coming through your door. You get to try them. Obviously, the fact that you've maintained a good relationship with Rodeo. Obviously, the fact that maybe that's one of the reasons, but that they text you right. You know what's good and what isn't.
Right.
You don't come on here talking about other people's products.
No, and the price is what really gets it, and it's the idea that they're the local group. Like they should be doing the right thing and and they are. Like no matter where it comes down to it, it's just still a local company. So okay, cool. I give you that kudos, local
And they got the
company.
outdoor thing going.
It's an
Remember, they're the
outdoor.
outdoor people.
It's an outdoor thing, which means they're getting their terpenes. They're doing their thing. Okay, kudos.
Yeah, I
Um,
never get involved with the ownership and all those stupid controversies, except for certain ones.
right.
But
So
it's
now it's
important
like
if the product is good and it's about value for me. You
the
know
vape
that.
pens do the job. The vape pens do the job. The edibles do the job. They're cheap. They're cost effective for the adult market. And if you're in the medical market now, you don't pay any taxes, and it's really cost effective. Um, I'm trying to think who else is bringing their prices. Like it's hard to say who else is bringing their prices down. AGL has been bringing their prices down pretty well as well. So between Rodeo and AGL, Affinity does they are they're the craft cultivators, as so they don't they're not going to bring their prices down. They're micro. Bricks is a
Yeah.
micro, so they're not going to bring their prices down. Which is understandable. It's not a big play. They just have very, very limited growth space.
Right, right.
Um, so they have to be able to maintain all of that, and electricity is really
Yeah, but if they're
expensive.
as long as their product,
And the products are good. I can't be
justifies the
mad.
price.
I can't be mad. They definitely do justify that price. Then there's like their plant that has some things that are cost effective, and then like the essential medical products are really expensive because they're strong. Like you can get a tincture, like 980 milligram tincture, but it's like $100 wholesale.
Right. We know,
You know,
so there's where they're not competing with the other markets, but in the medical,
right?
but they've always um been a little bit higher price in the medical market. So,
Yeah,
but I think they need to make that come down too. That's a
I
lot of
think they
money
should
for a
as
thousand
well.
milligram tincture. I gotta say.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. That's why we're sitting here doing it. It makes it hard for the retailer to even
Mm,
carry it at those price points.
yeah, I appreciate you coming
You
on, giving
know.
these updates about the regulated market because it's important. It's all one market,
Yeah, and
and
people should see it reflected in their in their retail shops. You know, they should see.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you're kind of like making it so like, okay, now everybody knows who's cheap. Now that
right.
dispensary, right, right, good.
So if you go into the dispensary and you see a rodeo 1 gram vape priced at $80, know that they got it for $20. Like,
Oh, okay, I like it.
you
You're
know
going
what
good,
I mean?
Joe. Good.
Like, if your dispensary is there to take care of you or not. Because if he gave volume products at a price, you can make the choice not to get it because you don't want to support it or you don't like their how they do things. But if you are just looking for a cost effective option, there has been presented a cost effective option.
Yeah,
Maybe you want to do something where your flour, because that's not on flour products realistically. Flour right now, AGL is kind of the most cost effective
right.
grower. And, with AGL, I pick up a couple different options and you can buy a $20 eighth because we picked it up for, $10. You can pick up a 20 or $25 eighth. There's not a ton of options, but there's usually one or two. So you pick
Well,
it up and you got an eighth for $20 or $25, and then you pick up a product. Hopefully everybody should have one because Steve has made sure to supply the entire community with a one hit wonder. Um, so let's get into it. You pick up a $20 eighth, $25 eighth, and your one hit wonder will make sure that eighth stretches as far as you need it to with proper dosing.
and they
And I
are
know,
available at Nautilus
and they're available everywhere. That
and
everybody,
Metatron.
Nautilus, Metatron. You see Steve out in the street, he might have one in his pocket. He definitely has one in his pocket for himself because I think the one he's
I'm sure
got,
he has one in his hand right now.
yeah, man, because the one he's got has been around forever, just to show the durability of the damn thing.
All
Them
right,
things don't ever go. And
let's
with
get
that, there's our transition, baby.
let's get to Steve real quick. But two events I want to highlight: CCSBA is holding their monthly meeting, virtual meeting for the community this Thursday at 7 p.m. And that's by Zoom. You can find the Zoom link on social media or at the CCSBA website. And of course, the Oyster Fest with Gabe and the Beach Bash, the community Beach Bash on the 23rd of September up at the Holy Ghost Park with Burn and Learn. It's going to be a great time. We'll talk about it more like next week. But of course, I'm there hosting. It'll be a lot of fun. But with
Mhm.
that, with that, and Lou, one last
Gentlemen,
question before I bring him on.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you feel now, as a dispensary owner, that the public, we're not talking about us, the connoisseurs, the community, people who are up on those levels, the public, the general public, are getting a better value now than they were 6 months ago?
Oh yeah, the price of cannabis has dropped over the last 6 months
And has the
exponentially.
quality gone up a little?
I believe that there are pockets of quality, um, but the price point also kind of reflects that. And for $20-$25, and you're getting a good flower that's got a wide spread of terpenes and maybe a lower THC.
Yeah.
It's a well-rounded plant. You know what it is. It's got the history.
Well,
It's
I
been
had some.
tested.
I tried it on the air. I gave
Yeah,
it
yeah,
7.6
exactly.
or
You know,
7.9 actually.
exactly. So, it's something that'll do the job. You can pick up one of those a day if you wanted to, if you're that type of smoker. You can come in and it's a
Yeah,
different
because
strain just about every day.
you can't really get an ounce. So if you're a regular
Well,
consumer,
you can
and
get an
this,
ounce now.
yes, right, for $100. And
No,
see,
no,
there
no.
you go.
The DCP changed the law.
Ah, see, that's another update. There we go. Now you can buy ounces at dispensaries.
Yes, you can buy an ounce. So if you got $25 apes, you want a $200 ounce. You're literally competing with the street at that point. You can switch up some of the strains. You can get half and half, and
And
you
do you
know,
find your customers are happy? This is what I care about. It's
yeah,
always been about the public.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know what I
think the
mean? The
customers,
regular old consumer who wants to just go grab a pre roll, they don't want to pay out the butt for it.
yeah,
You feel
yeah,
like now you're at that point where those people can feel comfortable coming in, feel like they're getting a good value, and leave and get a good high.
yeah. Like the rodeo joints are $8
Okay,
retail.
that's comparable. You know what they're paying on
Comes
the
out to
street.
$10. It comes out to $10, and it's a
Yeah.
full spectrum. It's got 8% terpenes, 23% THC. So it's a high terpene, high THC outdoor flower for $10 out the door. Like that's
Yeah.
you buy a $40 1 gram vape, a $20 edible, and a $10 pre roll or something, and you're
Yeah.
out
So
the door for less than $100, 65, $70, and you got a little bit of everything. You know.
good. I'm glad to hear that because that was always a concern. I want the regular old person to feel like they leave a dispensary and they got good value. And they're
Yeah.
not going to talk crap. So good. All right. With that, I want to bring on Steve Levine, the owner, the founder, and the inventor of One Hit Wonder. Yeah, the One Hit Wonder is engineered for combustion and designed to allow optimal airflow and a uniform dose. The One Hit Wonder features a unique ash catcher, ensuring you inhale without fear of hot ash. Say goodbye to those Scooby snacks. It's portable, convenient, and discreet. At 4 inches in length, the One Hit Wonder fits perfectly in your hand, making it easily concealable and unbreakable. It's designed to fit in most water pipe slides as well as for hand use, and it's easy to clean. Unlike those other one hitters that are prone to clogging, the One Hit Wonder disassembles easily for cleaning and comes with a cleaning tool to keep the pipe board clean. And with that, I want to bring on the man who invented this wonderful gadget, Mr. Steve Levine. How are you today? We heard about the product. Let's hear about the man. How are you, Steve?
Joe, I am doing tremendous. This was a great weekend. As you've
Excellent.
already mentioned, Bohemian High, Rich and Gloria, they hit a home run again.
Yep.
They're not out to put on the biggest show, but they certainly provide entertainment and for the
Good
most part,
vibes. Good vibes.
quality people to talk to.
Yep. And good vibes.
And I'm gonna just point out one thing and do not make this a big issue, anybody. It was at the end of the day on Saturday, having had great reaction to the product and the vibes and everything all day long, and then the brown bag and bourbon crowd and the beer crowd.
Oh, the ones from the bar across the street started
Well,
coming
no,
over.
they were
Yeah,
walking
I
over
was there.
they're walking over the liquor store and bringing back brown bags
Yeah.
and with absolutely no regard for the fact that we actually
Oh,
invested in our square footage. They basically just
hung
swarmed
out
my
listening to
tent and
music.
took it over.
Jesus. Well, you're giving out free hits. What do you want? They got
Well,
now. They
no, no,
got
no, no,
booze and
no.
a
That
free
was
hit of
the
weed.
Low, Joe. That's the best part of it. They didn't buy a damn thing. They didn't want to talk product. As a matter of fact, one of them had a rude response to the suggestion of would he like to try a dose.
Yeah, what I found at the end of that was once the bar opened,
Exactly.
the people. Now you know who I met there? Lucille Ball's granddaughter.
Really?
Yes, she
Wow.
lives in Milford. I met Lucille Ball's granddaughter.
I hope she wasn't the one wearing
and you
the
met her
pink
too.
outfit.
You met her too. I guarantee you.
She had the pink outfit with the pink hat and the
yes, sir, yes, sir, yes.
Yeah.
And that word on the front, yes.
And you know what she told me?
What?
You know what she told me? I said to her, anyone who owns a one-hit wonder is free to help themselves to what they might be interested on my table and have a dose. And her comment to me was, oh, I'm not paying for anything. If you're giving it away, I'll have some, but I'm not paying for anything. And I did not exercise my right to free speech with any reference to her attire or her intellect. And I'll let it go at that. All right?
Well, all right. I agree with you on that.
Subject.
She came to my booth, and we shouldn't even be talking. This is crazy, but she came to my booth, promised me, and this is really, promised me she was going to buy a shirt, right?
Yeah.
She came back later and she said, listen, honey, my husband only gave me $20 today, and I want to spend it on booze and cigarettes. I'm sorry, I can't buy a shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
I shouldn't have said that on the air, but it was
the first
just
problem
so
is why is
funny.
her husband in control of her funds? That's not a safe place to be. But that's another issue.
You met her. There's a reason.
Hello,
Lucy was wacky, so hey. But anyway, let's get off Lucy.
Yes. You have a sponsor. You have a sponsor in Metatron and Gabe at Metatron. He's going to be down at the Milford Oyster Fest.
Well, I know that. I said that already.
As you said, I will be there with him.
Oh, okay.
So
now
bring
we got
your one-hit wonders.
The community.
If you know, you know. We're going to be dosing. Okay. So join us, please.
You hear that, law enforcement?
I've done a couple of, if we're going to get into a 50 milligram dose being an offense, we're going to have to start driving 55 on the highway.
Well, this is what I'm going to tell you, Steve. Living in Milford, they are one of the least cannabis friendly towns in Connecticut. They do not have any more dispensaries. They used to have 2 medical dispensaries here, but they do not support legal. They have a ban on smoke shops. They've been heavily enforcing this smoke shop.
Do they have a cigarette smoking area at the Oyster Festival?
Yes, but
we will be in the cigarette.
They only have one designated marijuana smoking, and right now that is being constructed into a Cane's chicken. So,
okay.
I'm just telling you, the mayor is not cannabis friendly. We do have a cannabis friendly legislator, but our city council is not that. So Milford's not that cannabis friendly. All I'm just telling you is watch your back around them, okay?
All right.
That's my only. I live here. I deal with them. I know, but I constantly am civil disobedient and breaking the law. I better shut up. Anyway,
I think this is what they call good.
Yeah, I smoke too much weed, and you make me talk too much. So let's talk about why else was the weekend good besides the Bohemian High Festival.
The great what I discovered, I was going to say my weekend was wonderful. On Sunday, we attended a neighborhood event.
Okay.
Now, at my young age of 70, we've been in our neighborhood for lots of years and raised our children here, etc. And we don't know anybody anymore. So
that might be a good thing.
Going in branding and not being afraid of discussing the subject of consumption, it was actually pretty interesting to see the people that were in my place 25 years ago, whatever, now they're very open about consumption. It's great. It's like the world has caught up to you and I, Joe.
Well, yeah, well, we've always been ahead of the times, right? You with the one hit wonder, I've always been ahead of the times.
And
So,
they love the concept of the wonder because the introduction of the product always starts with, do you know what a Scooby snack is? Have you ever inhaled a Scooby snack? And you watch the reaction when you mention it, you watch people grab their neck or take a step back. They know what you're talking about. And as soon as
well,
you say
Steve,
you
I do have to
eliminated
say,
that,
you are a great ambassador for the cannabis community. You know how to engage people, you know how to bring them over, you know how to bring them in. And I think it's a very important role to play because you're not actually, you're an ancillary business. Let's put it that way. So you're not you're not selling product.
I hope
And
I'm educating. I
you
hope I'm
are.
educating.
That's the important thing. You're
Yeah.
out there educating. You're out there showing people a different way to use their cannabis that might be more efficient for them, might be more effective. You do sell a little hard, but that's okay. Um, but the thing is, you've probably changed a lot of people's habits in their cannabis use. Here I am smoking a joint. I should be hitting the window, right?
Well, if
But
you were intelligent about it, but people get emotional when you put it that way.
no, it's obviously,
It's a
and you know
logical
what, Steve?
decision.
If you were a sponsor to the show, I would be hitting the one hit wonder. Do you understand? Do you see how it works? Anyway,
I love talking business with business people.
so that's just a little something to know because we are heavily now. Cannabis Corner has a large enough reach. We are looking for sponsors. I put that out there last week, but Gabe is our official home grow store sponsor.
The
But if a
first
dispensary
person,
wants to sponsor, the first person to
the
step
man
up
steps
and
up
write
when
a
you
check.
ask him to support the industry. The man steps up.
He
It's a
puts
pleasure to work with him.
puts his money where his mouth is.
Yep.
I give a lot of free promotion out here on this show just by having guests on and by promoting events and all that. And Gabe offered this. So I want people to know that. He's a good man. But I am offering now, this has inspired me to say, well, maybe there's a dispensary out there that would like to sponsor. Maybe there is a head shop that would like to sponsor. Anything, anybody, I only want one category, one from each category, but again, you fit into, you're unique. But you know
In
what I'm
many
saying? I
ways.
want to grow the show in a lot of ways. I think it's important to maintain this show. I went up to the station. We got some really good numbers. I met with them last week. We got some really good numbers going on. They love us up there. They're going to give us all of our support. I really want to mention them, WNHHLP. He said he loves having Cannabis Corner on the air. He said it is his favorite show, and he's got a bunch of them. He said he loves it. And so I want to help support them as well. Do you understand? Because goes to them, a portion goes to them and a portion goes to the show. It is tax deductible. I want to support independent radio in general. Because we lost NPR. A lot of these outlets that maybe had a different voice or whatever were not all just canned music or syndicated shows are going away. And these are one of the last few. This one and WPCAN are really one of the last couple stations. They're publicly supported. They don't get grants. That's why they're not affected by this whole thing that Trump did.
Yep.
They're supported by the public. I can say whatever. I'm loud.
I'm neutral.
Right. No, me too. I don't care. I hate the government no matter who's in office. It doesn't matter. You could be anybody. I just hate the government. So, no, it's the truth. Anti-establishment to the bone. And now I lost my train of thought.
He took away the money from public broadcasting.
Yes, he took the money, but these people are publicly funded, and this is a way to contribute to them by sponsoring the show.
Freedom
They
of
have some
speech
good
isn't cool.
shows, very good political shows. They have good music shows. They have a great lineup over there on PKN. They're broadcast live over the airways, but they are also online. They have a great online presence. They're on TuneIn Radio. You can find them anywhere. And this is coming from me. He didn't ask me to do this or anything. But while I was up there, I had a realization of how important it is what they're doing for freedom of speech. And that's a real important thing because that movement of shutting down public radio or stop funding it, that's about freedom of speech as much as it is about money, you know. Whether I agree or disagree with what they're saying, whether they may have been skewed one way, maybe they were allowed to get off the leash, give them a chance to get back to normal. Give them a chance to get back to the middle. Don't take away every penny. You know, there's ways to do things that aren't with a sword. And I even find this with, you know, we can bring it right back to Connecticut now and the legislator here. It's all about we got to do it with a sword. We got to do it with a sword. It's never about like getting in there and really fixing the small points of why did it go wrong? Why is it not working? How can we make it? Excuse
Getting
excuse.
all choked up on the subject. Jesus. Whoa.
Well, you can say his name. Um,
Calm
but you
down,
know,
big guy.
it's the same way with the way they do things here in Connecticut. You know, it's we got to have a task force and eliminate this whole problem. Well, how about you sit down and talk to these guys? You end up finding out they got scammed, half of them. You would have known that if you'd done some investigation. You would have known that from the beginning if you didn't freaking want to spend so much money on tax force. Yeah, we gotta have a task force. No, there's a way to solve the problem without going running in, guns blazing. They had 5 cars. I watched one get busted. They had 5 cars out there. You know, there's other ways to do things. And it's the same with NPR. You could have made their funding based on merit, based on other things. You know, you could have done many other things. But this is the basic attitude of lawmakers. It's like they got to cut everything with a sword instead of the trimming scissors. Imagine if I trimmed my buds with a sword. Oh, I got bud rot. Cut it right off with a machete. You know, that's not what you do. You get in there and you try to fix the problem, and they don't do this. And this, I'm
If the
really
only
glad.
tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, correct?
And that's all they are hammers, right?
Yep, hard
And
head.
I'm glad for this federal investigation. I was on Chaz and AJ last week, and I told them, I hope the chickens come home to roost and they lay big freaking eggs. Because it is time that these lawmakers and the games they played with cannabis, with us, with the people out there, with the people, social equity people, and all the games they played need to be exposed.
Yep.
The people need to stop trusting these leaders like they're like they're not greedy, like they're not corrupt because they are. And that's the problem with the general public. They trust them. We trusted them. We trusted them to put together, you know, we only took it so far. We could only give them the framework. We trusted, and I never did, but some people did, trusted the state to do it right, and they didn't. And
Have
they
you-
did really not only this, not stupid mistakes, but flagrant
Bias. It's bias.
Flagrant bias. Good word.
They're directing things to happen for someone's benefit. And I
Yes.
know you and I have talked in the past about people that think that they are better than others, whether it's because they might be larger than others, stronger than others, maybe they actually have some
Richer. Right.
talent, whatever it may be, but they become like a bully about it.
Yeah.
And we've all lived through life watching these people excel. They're the football captains, and they're the ones getting the free ride here and the free ride there and whatever for their academics, and it's all wonderful. And then they get out of that environment and they become big leaders, top leaders. They're running companies. They're doing this. They're doing that.
Yeah.
Where the hell are those people standing up and saying things like, We don't do it that way in this country or this state or whatever. You're not making sense. You're doing things that seem like you've made a decision in favor of one over the other. That's not democracy. That's not a debate. That is that's outright theft from the people.
It's corruption.
It's not legit. So
Nepotism.
where are those people that were so annoying to all of us for most of our life? When are they going to stand up and say, you know what? I'm not afraid to lose my job because I said something. I'm not afraid to lose money because I said something. I'm not afraid of anything because I've got the right of free speech and you're not doing it the way I want it done.
Two things right there. The first one is the reason there are no leaders. And first of all, this is the first thing. Nobody, no politician, nobody from inside the system will ever make a change. So people who are looking to politicians to be that voice, and if you think AOC or Bernie Sanders are genuine, you're stupid. It always comes from the people. Now and I always go back to this, you know that. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, religious leaders, not politicians.
They knew how to reach people.
Angela Davis, Abby Hoffman, no politicians, nobody who were the leaders of the movement were politicians. The only politician who was sympathetic and made promises to end the war and make change was RFK Sr. Mm-hmm. And we saw what happened to him.
Yep.
All right. So this game is not going to be solved from the inside. And the second point you made is that personality. You said people become bullies. They think they're better than others. They think they have more power. It is not only people, it is the institutions that they represent act in the same way. And that is because those institutions are filled with bullies like that. And so when you say, you pick out whatever certain legislators or certain leaders that act like bullies, they're part of the big system which acts like a bully. And I say it goes into medicine, it goes into food, because they're all run by people who think they are better than everybody else, and they are bullies.
Right.
So it extends out to the whole society. The whole system is a bully. How about that? How about that?
All of those
That's
people.
what needs to go, and the only way it's ever going to change is through the people, not through politics. I'm done. Let's talk about weed. Now, the one-hit wonder, Steve. You showed me a nice product you had.
You had a hit from the Polar Blaster.
Now, do you have one? I'm hoping that you have one nearby that you could show the people.
Honestly,
it's packed up in the truck with all the merch, right?
They're downstairs.
All right, tell me a little about the Polar Blaster. It looks like a regular old.
It basically is it's a travel mug with a straw, like I'm doing my drink, but it has a stainless steel tube that goes to the bottom of the stainless steel mug, and you put your Wanda in the top like that, and hit it like a water pipe, and your single dose becomes
and
extremely
you're carrying
potent.
it around right in your hand, and you had it filled with ice. It was very nice.
Ice, water, yeah. But
you could put it with anything, and you could put booze in there, right? It don't matter.
You could. That's the interesting thing when you bring consumption down to a fixed metric. All right. When you're doing any experiment, you want to start with something uniform, and then you have variables that you can then see how they change your fixed. All right. So with the 50 milligram dose through the water pipe, warm water, cold water, ice, flavored water, carbonated water, wine, bourbon, I don't know. What effect might you get from that? Honestly, I'm not making a claim that you'll have any effect. But I can tell you right now that Lou's wasting his time with that Jay. But beyond that...
he likes blunts.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah,
be-
yeah, yeah.
Now
yeah.
listen,
So
you have to understand, Steve.
he
Now
weighs
this is
his
the
he
thing.
weighs his cannabis
You can't
wholesale. I
put-
understand.
It's a good thing to promote your way, but you can't put people down for their way.
Joe, I
You
want to
do.
make a
You
point.
just called me stupid, and you
Joe,
just come on now.
Joe,
No,
I
I
want
hear
to
you.
make a point.
I'm so what I'm doing is I'm putting 5 doses in one. That's
Right.
what I'm doing.
Well, no, what I was going to say is the beauty,
See,
the
this
beauty of
one
even,
joint, this is my third dose.
but the beauty of using the Wonder first, then you know what you're putting, the effect of what you're putting into your blunt. So everything, in my opinion, would start with a single dose to identify your product. And you say, wow, I like the way this tastes. I like this way this hits, whatever. And then step up to wholesale consumption.
So you're assuming now that when I buy a bag of sour diesel, that I don't know, after by smelling it, looking at it, touching it, that I don't know that it's going to taste good, and that I have to sample it?
I
First, me
question,
as a person who's smoked that strain a million times,
I
likes that strain. You say I have to do that?
I question the
Yeah, I love
the
that.
grow to
No,
grow
I get
comparison
so like
is
Joe. I
hard
get
to say is totally
Who's got a point
reliable.
here?
yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I love it because Steve is, it's Steve likes pushing it, and it's true though. But if you have a one hit wonder in your pocket and you're at the show or you're any place else, and somebody's like, okay, this is this, and I'm gonna pay. All right, cool. Well, then I got a one hit wonder. It only takes this much amount of flour. Let me try it, and it gives that idea versus the reach in the bag, grab a nug, say roll this up. See, I get what you're saying, Steve.
And it's only 50 cents, not $10, $5, whatever.
Right.
So if
No,
someone's giving
Steve.
out a sample, what's the wholesale? If it's 50 cents, you got a 25 cent dose that you're giving out.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
A
Here's
pen
my
costs
thing,
more than that.
Steve. Here was my thing. I used to be a one-hit smoker. I used to use only a one-hitter.
But
And
they
I
suck.
found what you found. I got a lot of Scooby snacks. They were hard to clean. I used to just throw them out after, a
And
period
you
of time.
got no
You
potency
throw them
out of
out. You buy the fake ones that look like a fake cigarette, for $5, $10 at the head shop or whatever. That's how I used to smoke it. I started to find that one hit wasn't enough of a dose.
Right.
So I'd end up doing 3 one-hitters at a time. So I moved up to bowls. Because for me, a one session, like one, is at least a bowl. You know what I
I
mean?
I agree
And
with
then,
what you're saying from
so
what you're
for me,
used
and
to.
I'm not, I'm saying for a regular person it's absolutely what is besides being able to test your different strains, it is a more efficient way you could put in your freaking pocket. And you upgraded a one hitter, which, like I said, I used to use, and all the bad things about it, the Scooby snacks, the fact that we get
They're
clogged up and
gone.
nasty.
They're gone.
You had to stick a paper clip through it all the time.
Past tense.
All that. You have eliminated all that, and you've added features that are smaller. So people who are one hitter smokers, I will tell you, this is the best one hit device out there.
I
And
appreciate
people who
that.
are interested in what
Thank
Steve
you.
is saying, and in one hit and microdosing instead of macrodosing, whatever you want to call it, then this is the best way to learn about it and to do it. And now, you started out as a single product. You've added more things. You've added accessories and things. And I'm sure you're going to come up with more because, you got a brand. So I will say that on the air, out loud to everybody. You have the best one-hitter device out there for
I
one-hitter
appreciate that,
smokers
Joe.
and for people who are interested in it.
I
No,
appreciate that.
seriously. No,
May I
that's
say
why
one
Lou
thing?
carries it. That's why Gabe. That's why everybody carries it.
Yeah, it's a great product.
I'd
I
like
mean,
to say one
if we
thing
could
about
put a little
quantity.
video of you selling it with at each store, it'd be great.
I wish
Buy them
every
off the
store
shelf.
had them.
The
It's
problem
more
is, the
valuable than a
people don't
digital
always
scale.
know how to sell it.
Much more valuable than a digital scale. But please, if I may, you
Yes.
mentioned that you want to smoke more than one dose. And
Yeah, I like like a session of
I
it,
understand, but what my concept is, what my belief is that you now have an ability for that first dose to register, and you smoked it. You inhaled something.
Yeah, it's
The
a nice.
the second dose, if you don't notice any change compared to the first dose, why would you continue? I'm not saying stop smoking. I'm saying change the
Switch strain.
strain you're
Right,
smoking
right.
and see if you get an effect now with your third dose, but of a different strain. Smoke all 20 doses that are in a 1 gram joint. That's 20 of my doses in a 1 gram joint. 50 cents
Yeah,
a
what
piece,
is the dose?
$10.
What is a microdose? How many grams? Point what?
Don't get caught up in a
You
concept.
just told me 20 doses
I'm
are
saying
in a gram, so you got to do the math.
microdosing. If it's a 50 milligram by weight dose and it's 20% THC, then you got a 10% THC dose.
Right.
All right, but that's not what's important from a metrics view, from quantifying what we're doing. The industry can't come up with a recommended dose. They can't figure it out. So when I do it as an engineer and I say, you can track this metric, I can see a reaction from 50 milligrams. I can note that reaction and I can note if it changes with anything more. And by doing that, I believe we're able to steer people towards a much better high.
A better experience.
More
Hey,
money in their pocket. Every aspect of it just makes sense. The thing that it does not do is replace the joint in your hand for the next 10 minutes.
right.
That's all that it is. It's
For
in your
me,
mind.
I just
For
want to
me,
get high. I just want to get high.
all right, for me, and this is just me. It doesn't replace that sweet tobacco.
See,
That is
see,
right.
he's a blunt guy. You see?
That sweet tobacco will put me on the floor for good. I do not go near it.
And
Yeah.
I can tell you something, Steve. I like joints because I used to smoke those sweet
I agree.
cigarettes.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you guys. I'm not arguing with you.
And I'll do a blunt with Lou anytime.
I'm sure.
Even though I don't smoke those sweet cigarettes anymore. But so I wanted to ask you, Steve,
Sure.
your demographics. Now, you besides what you get online and whatever orders, when you're out there in the public, who do you find as the most receptive to what you're doing, to microdosing? Who do you find as the ones maybe you don't buy because we know people are cheap, but who is most interested in is it our age? Is it the youngsters? Are they looking? Youngsters want to get in the weed. Hey, they're willing to try new stuff.
Well, you know the term full spectrum?
Yeah.
I have a full spectrum demography. I've got parents buying pipes for their teenagers.
Right.
They're doing it, not me. Right. I've got middle-aged people buying them for their parents in their 80s. It is across the board. The fact that people feel comfortable only consuming a small amount if they've never consumed before, and people that have consumed before that may not have had a positive experience because of the strain they may have been consuming. I'm able to have a conversation with them about doing a little bit of research on their part and finding a strain that they may enjoy that won't give them those anxieties or whatever. And I have the tool to do it.
That is
And
right.
people
That
are
is a good tester for
they're very
strains. But then you
receptive.
got to go buy all them different strains.
Um, isn't that the fun part?
Maybe if you got a lot of money, unlimited funds, or if you're growing, I'm going to tell you right now. Here's what I just came up with. Boom. Growing. If you grow, like I don't want to say anything, but I have 9 different varieties. Right now, I may want to do each one individually in a small dose once the process is finished.
And you will love it. You
Right.
will love
So
it.
see, and I already have one. You know that.
Yeah. Well, give it a
Um,
good try after this. You're going to find that that entourage
I'm going
effect
to
is
use it for
real.
that. I'm going to use it exactly for that,
It's
and I'm going to
real.
recommend other people who are growing multiple strains that they use it as a tester. You know what I'm saying? Or even if they are growing the same strain, use it as a pheno tester.
So I'm always curious when someone comes back to the booth, one event year after year. We've been doing this now almost 10 years.
Right, I
So
know. You were right in there when I started.
absolutely. So it's pretty wild when you're talking to people that you've been interfacing with for that long and they've got your product and well, for one, I've had young women come up to me and just look at me and they say, "You've changed my life."
See,
I
that's what I
mean,
like to hear.
boom, that hits you right in the chest.
Right?
And then you got the little old ladies who like it at I love the High Vibes festival because you get a lot of just the
Yeah, you
street
do. You get
the
little
street
regular
traffic.
people.
And the little old ladies who bought a wonder from me 5 years ago or whatever, they come up to the table and they reach into their purse and they hold it up. They want a dose.
So you got repeat customers, you made friends.
Oh,
That's what it's about. You know how many connections I made at that good vibe? I may not have made a ton of money, but I made connections with people and some business ones that could lead to money. So you never know who you're going to meet. And I like the fact that it's more intimate there and you can actually talk to people.
there's
Like
nothing more
I wouldn't have
social.
known about, Lucy Ball's
So, but I'm
granddaughter if
saying
I didn't talk to people.
there's nothing more social than going to a canna event. And it doesn't have to be a cannabis related event. I'm saying if the people are out of the cannabis industry, wherever we are, I think we know how to be civilly social and have a great evening or a great day and everybody get home safe at the end, regardless of what everybody else may think about our lifestyle. I think we're all very, very conscious of safety
We
and
are. We help each other.
doing the
Look,
right thing.
sometimes people
Absolutely.
do too many
Absolutely.
dabs. We help them out.
Yep.
If you're at a bar and you're too drunk, what do? They just throw you out on the freaking street.
Yep.
Get out of here. But if you come to our community, do too many dabs, maybe you had some other things, whatever, and you're not feeling well, we take care of you. And if medical help is necessary, we will get it for you. But we will always, when you see somebody at an event, there's a crowd that just gathers
Yep.
to help them with water, with whatever. And the good thing about the cannabis community is there are nurses and medical people in
Yeah.
there, and
Lots of them.
at the event there might even be a doctor. Do you know there are people from all walks of life? There have been many times that there's been a nurse at the event who can come
But I think
and
usually
help.
it's more dehydration than anything
A lot
related
is
to
dehydration. Yeah, and a lot is dabs, dude. Don't kid yourself.
well, if they're overdoing it with dabs,
You know what
I've
happens?
never witnessed it.
They give them for free. People have never done them. You know what I mean? And then the
Okay.
people who've never done them keep coming back. It's not the people giving the dabs fault. It's the people who don't understand what dabs are. But listen, we're at the end. You got to give out your info real quick
Sure.
and then a shout out and we got to go.
Absolutely. You can find me online at onehitondada.com. We are available locally. The Vape Loft, Metatron Homegrown, Slow Puffs, their 3 locations, Burn and Learn Center.
All right, I said sure. How do we find you on social media?
One hit wonder on Instagram and on TikTok. I'm having a blast on TikTok. Catch me there.
All right, and on your website you can find all your affiliates. So I didn't want to cut you off, but you can find them on the website.
Yes.
Thank you, Steve, for coming on. This was a great show, great conversation as always. Thank you for what you do out there in the community as well. All right, Harry, we are ready to roll. All right, you can follow me at Joe the Weed Guy or at Greenhaven Media. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow Uncle Lou at Farmer Lou, and remember our sponsor, Metatron Homegrow, and our soon-to-be sponsor, One Hit Wonder. See you at the Oyster Fest this weekend. We love you.
The show.